Some foods are so common that their origins rarely come to mind. Margarine is one of them. It sits in refrigerators around the world, spread across toast, melted into vegetables, and used in baking. For many households, it simply exists as a practical alternative to butter. Yet margarine has a far more complex story than it first appears. It was born from scientific experimentation, shaped by economic need, and constantly redesigned as nutritional knowledge evolved. Understanding what margarine actually is means looking at its history, its ingredients, and the science that turns liquid oils into a familiar spread. Right here, on History of Simple Things. Margarine began as a response to a practical problem. In the mid-1800s, butter was expensive and sometimes difficult to supply in large quantities. In 1869, the French government offered a prize to anyone who could create an affordable butter substitute that could feed both soldiers and the general population. A French chemist named Hippolyte Magemoury developed the winning solution. His invention combined beef fat, milk, and water to produce a spread that resembled butter in both texture and appearance. He called it oleomargarine, a name inspired by chemical terms used to describe fatty substances. Although the original recipe was very different from modern margarine, the concept quickly spread to other countries. Manufacturers began improving the formula, experimenting with new ingredients and production techniques. Modern margarine is primarily made from vegetable oils and water. Common oils include soybean, canola, sunflower, palm, or corn oil. These oils form the main fat component of the spread. Because vegetable oils are naturally liquid at room temperature, they cannot behave like butter on their own. Food scientists therefore modify or blend these oils to create a thicker, more solid consistency. Water typically makes up a smaller portion of the product, helping recreate the fat and water balance found in butter. Emulsifiers are added so the oil and water stay mixed together rather than separating. Other ingredients may include salt, coloring for the familiar yellow tone, and added vitamins such as A and D. Together, these components create the smooth and spreadable texture associated with margarine. Turning liquid oils into a butter-like spread requires careful food science. Vegetable oils remain liquid because their molecular structure prevents them from solidifying easily at room temperature. Early manufacturers solved this problem with a process called hydrogenation. By adding hydrogen atoms to the oil molecules, the fats became more saturated and therefore more solid. This allowed margarine to achieve a texture closer to butter. However, partial hydrogenation produced trans fats, which were later linked to health risks such as heart disease. As research advanced, these concerns led to major changes in margarine production. Today, many margarines avoid hydrogenation altogether. Instead, manufacturers blend different plant oils or use naturally solid fats to achieve the desired texture without creating trans fats. Margarine and butter may look similar, but their origins are very different. Butter is made by churning cream from cow's milk until the fat separates from the liquid. It has been used in cooking for centuries. Margarine, on the other hand, is produced from plant-based oils through industrial processing. Its purpose has always been to imitate butter's texture and versatility while remaining more affordable. The two also differ nutritionally. Butter contains more saturated fat, while margarine generally contains more unsaturated fats derived from plants. The exact balance depends on how the margarine is formulated. Flavor is another key distinction. Butter has a rich dairy taste, while margarine relies on blends of oils and flavoring to create a similar experience. Throughout its history, margarine has been surrounded by debate. When it first appeared in the late 19th century, dairy producers feared it would threaten the butter industry. Some governments even introduced laws restricting how margarine could be sold. In certain places, manufacturers were forbidden from coloring margarine yellow so that it would not resemble butter. These rules gradually disappeared as the product became more widely accepted. Later debates focused more on health than economics. Research into dietary fats led to shifting opinions about whether butter or margarine was the better choice. These discussions pushed companies to repeatedly reformulate their products. Because of these changes, modern margarine is quite different from the versions sold decades ago. Today, margarine appears in several forms. Some varieties are firm and suitable for baking, while others are soft spreads designed to be easily spread straight from the refrigerator. Many products emphasize plant-based ingredients, making margarine useful for people who avoid dairy. This has also made it popular in vegan cooking. In everyday kitchens, margarine can serve many of the same purposes as butter. It is used for frying, spreading, and baking, depending on the type and fat content. Despite its industrial origins, margarine has become a familiar and versatile ingredient around the world. Margarine may seem like a simple butter substitute, but its history reveals a long journey of innovation. Created in the 19th century as a practical solution to food shortages, it gradually evolved through advances in chemistry and food technology. From its early mixture of animal fats to today's plant-based formulas, margarine has constantly adapted to new scientific knowledge and consumer expectations. Debates over health and nutrition have shaped how it is made and how it is perceived. What sits in a small tub in the refrigerator represents more than just a spread. Margarine is the product of more than a century of experimentation, showing how science and society can reshape even the most ordinary foods. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.